Well, this St. John's River tournament is a wrap up, and I got a check, but I'm not real happy by about the way it ended. We started off pretty strong. First day, unfortunately, we didn't get my camera in the boat in time, and I missed getting the camera in the boat that morning. So the 20-pound day that I had, which was a really good day, my only really good day, kind of missed some of that footage. But that was a good day. I had an area I tried to stay out of the crowd. I'd made a top 10 the last two times we've been to St. John's by fishing bedding areas on the western shore of Lake George with a lot of other guys. And I found a lot of those same fish there, but I found one area that was more secluded this time, and I thought it had enough fish in it to maybe hold up for 3 or 4 days. But the 20-pound day, I had a few other guys in the area catching some fish, but caught them on a Senko that day on the SpinMaster by Livingston Lures. I'll show you right here. The top water was a big factor this week. This is a new bait that Livingston's got out now. It's called a SpinMaster. As you know, in Florida, prop baits are really good. Any of the southern lakes that have grass and lily pads, dark tannic water, for some reason they like prop propeller baits like this. And Livingston made a really good one here that has our electronic bait fish sound in it. This is a green package lure called a SpinMaster. It's only a $12.95 lure, so it has one sound in it, which is a real intense shad sound, so it makes it really good when you're popping this, twitching it on the surface over those pads and grass, and it's making that sound that calls the fish up, and it really is effective. So if you're a prop bait guy, check this Livingston SpinMaster out right now. It's coming out real soon. It should be available on livingstonlures.com. So I throw that on a 20-pound gamma monofilament leader, and then I tie that little bitty number 10 power swivel or number 8 power swivel to my Daiwa J braid, and I used a 50-pound Daiwa J braid tied to that 20-pound monofilament leader, mostly just for the castability of the braid, the distance of the braid, and then that little monofilament leader is stiff so it doesn't wrap around your blade, allows your blades to turn better, and it floats. And if you put fluorocarbon leader, it's going to sink a little bit and not stay up as good. So I like that little piece of monofilament, and it can be anywhere from 18 inches to 2 foot long. I do it that way. I trust a swivel better than I do a knot, so that's why I tie that swivel, and it doesn't twist your line as bad with that prop bait when you have a swivel on there. My setup for this was the new Tatula CT reel. See that reel? That is a bad, good looking reel right there. It's the Type R, and the Type R 7.3 retrieve. That's my reel with the braid on it. I had it on the Kronos rod, as you can see right here, the Kronos 7'3", medium heavy, and that's a rod I really like a lot. It's a little bit longer. It's a new Braiding X rod. It's got a really good tip on it with a good backbone, and it's a thin, lightweight rod. Works great for top water baits and spinner baits and things like that for making long casts. So that was my setup on the Livingston SpinMaster. The other bait I threw and caught a good amount of fish on, which I always do in the spring and in Florida, is the Yamamoto Original Senko. That color is called Watermelon Slice. That's a new color last year that's gotten really popular. It's good. It's got a lot of red in it. It's a little bit different than your normal green pumpkins. I throw it sometimes on a big rod, a big Daiwa rod with braid, but that last week down there when they were spawning, I was throwing it on a 7-foot medium heavy Steez XT spinning rod with the new Surtate 2510 spinning reel, 20-pound Daiwa J braid on that, tied straight to the hook, a 4/0 heavy wire X-point Daiichi hook, so you can pull the fish out of the cover without bending your hook. That was a really good setup. When I'm throwing that prop bait, that SpinMaster, sometimes they'd swirl under it and they'll let you see where they're on the bed. You pick the Senko up and reel it on the surface and make it skip across the top and then kill it. As it falls down on the bed, the fish will swim off and you'll catch them. That was my follow-up bait I caught a lot of fish on. Then the other bait that I cast a lot looking for fish was a paddle tail, just the regular, any type of paddle tail worm. Florida's full of paddle tails, the ultravive speed worm, all different brands of paddle tails that make that movement, so you can just reel the bait along and the fish, it draws the fish to you when they're spawning. I caught some of my fish on that 20-pound day like that as well. And then the other setup right here, the good old dependable Yamamoto Flapping Hawg, and I take that Flapping Hawg and I pull those flappers off. That's my little trick that I do, and make it a little stubby crawfish, and that's what I fish all my bedding fish on. And most of my fish I caught on day 2 and 3 were bed fish that I actually sight fished for few of them the first day were that way as well. On this setup, I used the Daiwa 7.4 extra heavy Steez XT rod, and then I used the 8.1 retrieve on the real super fast 8.1 retrieve Tatula CT reel, 70-pound Daiwa Samurai braid on there with a big Daiichi HD 4/0 hook for flipping. That's what I sight fish with. That's what I flip pads and debris with, and I caught most of my fish doing that. Day 2, I went back to the area I caught the 20 pounds in. No big fish had moved back in that area. The water dropped about 6 inches, I guess, because the wind blowing out of that area, and the flat got really shallow. So I didn't catch any big ones there. I caught 4 small keepers. I moved on. I actually started looking for new fish because I thought the new fish were moving up all along. I found several, as you'll see in some of the video here, that I couldn't make bite, some that weren't locked on yet. Some were big ones, and I'd catch the male and the female would leave. It was really frustrating. Ended up with right at the end of the day, I caught a 2-pound, about a 2 1/4 pounder, which didn't seem like a big one, but I threw back a 1 1/4 pounder, and I ran in just in time. Had 8 pounds and 13 ounces, or 8.11, something like that, a small limit, and it was just enough with that last cull to get me that tie for 50th place. So I was able to get a $10,000 check and fish again the third day. Third day, I decided to gamble. I ran way up the Ocklawaha River, and you probably see this is the curviest boat ride of my life, running up this river, and it was like a 20-minute run to get to the back of this place. Me and my wife and boys 3 or 4 years ago when we were there went fun fishing in there and caught a big stringer of sight fish that I really had a feeling that day could be a sleeper, that nobody had been up in there because it was so hard to get to. Well, I make that run up in there that morning. Everything looked great. I wasn't catching anything because I thought they were bedding, and as I looked for bedders, as you see, man, I found an 8 or 9 pounder. I worked on it, wasted multiple hours on it throughout the day. 5 or 6 pounder I wasted time on. I had them both looking like they were going to bite, and at the last minute they would just disappear and leave. And I've never had fish swim away and leave a bed as often as they did in this little river that I was in. So it was a bad day. It was cloudy and rainy a little bit, just not a good sight fishing day, I guess. And I wasted that whole day away trying to make those few fish bite. I had 4 fish that I fished for that if I'd have caught those fish, I could have had a 20-some pound bag and made them move back into the top 12. That's how easy it could happen, and that's how quick your time can go away when you don't get those fish to bite. So before it was over with, it was time to go in. Caught 2 little males off a bed and didn't catch the female. Ended up with 2 fish. I couldn't drop below 51st place because I was already in 51st tie. They pay 51 spots now, so I got the 51st spot. Tournament's over. I got the points, got a check, and licking my wounds, but it could have been a lot worse. So I'm thankful we started out a decent one for the year, and then we'll move on to South Carolina next, and hopefully get some momentum started back up there to follow up that top 5 that we had at the Classic. So anyway, thank you guys for following us and watching us, and check out all the new Daiwa rods and reel. They're really awesome. Check it out, Daiwa.com. Check out the Livingston lures on livingstonlures.com. Yamamoto, all their plastics. Check out baits.com to buy online there, and Bass Pro Shops, of course, to get all these items directly shipped to your house quickly. Free shipping over $50. So check it all out. Thanks for following us. Good luck. God bless. We'll see you in South Carolina.